everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, I've got an exciting one for you. You won't believe these Commander staples are just $5. You need to pick them up right now. There's a card list link in the description below. Let's jump into it. First up, Agent of Treachery. What a name for a card. This is a card that will be quite treacherous at the table. A 2/3 human rogue for 7 mana, and if that was it, this might be the most garbage card of all time. But this card is $4.89 for a reason, because when it enters the battlefield, gain control of target permanent. That is one of the most devastating ETBs of all time. Literally, ETB control magic on anything, any permanent, and it doesn't say like, hey, yeah, when this leaves the battlefield, this effect ends or whatever. Basically, no. All of a sudden, you're just like, okay, that's mine. Oh, by the way, blink deck, that's mine. By the way, blink deck, that's mine. On top of that, at the beginning of your end step, if you control 3 or more permanents you don't own, you draw 3 cards. So, of course, you're heavily incentivized to gain control of a lot of things that aren't yours. So this is not only just like a way to mass gain control of a lot of things in the right deck, right strategy, again, in a clone deck, in a blink deck, ETB deck. It's a great way to do all of that, but of course it is a draw engine for you too. Well worth the $5. If you've got it for this one, pick it up. Next up, Jaw Tyrant. Now, you might be thinking this is just for dinosaur decks, but you would be wrong right there. Of course, it is for dinosaur decks, but of course, outside of that, there are plenty of different decks that can utilize it into great effect. A 5/5 dinosaur for 5 mana in white. Enrage. Whenever it's dealt damage, exile target creature an opponent controls until Jaw Tyrant leaves the battlefield. Now, basically what this is going to be doing is getting rid of basically everything on the board that you want it to. Because, well, if you are playing in the correct deck, again, if you're playing in an Enrage deck, a trigger deck, one that can actually ping it, essentially, you can just keep pinging it again and again and again and getting rid of all of your opponent creatures that you want to. Also, if you are good at politicking, this is a great card. If an opponent, say, has, I don't know, some kind of a, like, little tiny token creature, like an expendable creature, or maybe one that even has more toughness but less power than this creature, essentially, you can actually start making some deals and be like, hey, okay, I know that you're going to have to get rid of that servo to do this, but like that player's commander is a big problem right now. Swing your tiny little servo at me, all right? I'll make a deal with you. Maybe I want to attack you or whatnot, okay? I'll block with my Jaw Tyrant, and then we will get rid of that big creature over there, okay? It also works really great against tokens too, so do keep that in mind. This has a lot, again, political potential, a lot of pinging potential, a lot of enraging potential, and it's just a solid creature, again, that is really hard for your opponents to block or swing into. Pick it up. All right, buckle up for this next one, though, called Dotha Forge Master. If you ever played against this, you know that you are, well, just absolutely terrified the second that someone goes, okay, untap. All right, looks like this doesn't have Summoning Sickness anymore, so sacrifice the artifacts and let's go get something. And then you're like, oh my gosh, what are they getting? What kind of a game-ending thing are they getting? Yeah, this is insane. 3/5 Construct for 5 mana. Tap, sacrifice 3 artifacts, search your life for an artifact card on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Again, in Magic, there are a good amount of tutors out there. Most of those tutors get things into your hand, though. This one's like, oh yeah, just directly onto the battlefield. By the way, I'm a repeat tutor. In an artifact strategy, you've got plenty of ways to get a lot of artifacts out. You're like, okay, cool, all right, get the artifacts out, sacrifice them, and Blightsteel Colossus. And massive thing. You know, just like, there's so many different ways. Rexian Portal, oh my gosh. There's so many different giant artifacts out there that you can cheat into play. And even maybe not even the giant ones, but ones that are like, oh yeah, just like a 2-card combo. Cool, I've got Basalt Monolith. All right, Rings of Bright Earth. Okay, cool. Being able to go tutor up whatever you need. This is an insane piece in artifact strategy. Pick it up. Okay, not just as a commander, but as a card in 99, yeah, Drivnod, Kindred Dominus is insane. 8/3, 8/3 for 5 mana for Rexian. If a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers additional time. That is, well, Teysa. This is an additional Teysa effect. So if you're in a Teysa deck, you're like, oh, Teysa, cool, get the Drivnod. Awesome. Drivnod, get the Teysa. It's a great way to just double up your ETBs. I was going to say ETBs. LTBs, Death Triggers, whatever you want to call them, essentially a great way to double those up. Again, Death Harmonicon style. Being able to go, all right, I get all the value out of this, and then double that up. On top of that, of course, by paying Rexian Black, exiling 3 creature cards from your graveyard, you get an indestructible counter on this. So at the very least, I mean, this can be a really beefy creature. Again, 8/3, indestructible, hard to deal with, and doubles up death triggers. Yes, please, for the right strategy out there. Again, Riskrat strategies, make sure you're utilizing this one. Life gain strategies. You know those people who make fun of you? No? I mean, at the table, and you're like, well, you've got 500 life, but that's all you're doing. Ha ha ha. This is the time where you get revenge on them. You go, okay, Blossoming Bog Beast. All of a sudden, they're going to stop laughing. They're going to be like, oh, okay, your giant life total is much more impressive now. I'm so sorry. All right, 3/3 Beast for 5 mana in green. Whenever it attacks, you gain 2 life. Then creatures you control gain trample and get +X/+X until enter X the amount of life you gain this turn. Do you know how easy it is to finish off all your opponents with a card like this? It is so incredibly easy. This is like the Crater Hoof Behemoth for life gain strategies. Because all of a sudden you're like, okay, I swing. At the very least, it's going to be +2/+2 trample, so nearly overrun, which is nice, but it can obviously get better. But all of a sudden you're just like, okay, I cast like a single Congregate, 4 mana, instant speed, gain 2 life for every single creature on the battlefield, including my opponent's creatures. Okay, I just gain like probably 40 life, whatever it is. All right, my creatures just swing and you all lose. You all lose. Or a life doubling effect. There are so many effective ways to gain so much life so easily. Yeah, this is just a one-shot KO on everyone with your creatures. So yeah, Blossoming Bog Beast, a steal right now. Go pick it up. One that Wizards kind of refuses to reprint, it seems like, compared to the other ones. I mean, I guess this is like the list version, but they're not doing the list anymore. But Filth. Filth is an incarnation that does not really see reprints, it seems like. It's also an incarnation that, unlike, you know, Wonder or Anger, it kind of is one where it's like, it's utilizing a keyword that, like, doesn't really see much play anymore. Like, the land walk keywords essentially don't. So, not play, I guess, but, like, print. A 2/2 incarnation with Swamp Walk. There we go, for 4 mana in black. As long as in your graveyard and you control a swamp, creatures you control have Swamp Walk. So, being able to have basically unblockable creatures if your opponents control swamps, yeah, that's quite good. Obviously, that is technically better than Wonder, but it is, again, conditional, depending on if your opponents have swamps or not. So, yes, this is a bit more conditional than the other ones. That being said, it is effective for a reason because, well, number one, it's in the color where getting things into your graveyard is incredibly easy. I mean, there's other colors that are good at it, too, like wheels and stuff like that, but in black, you're like, okay, Entomb, discard, mill, check, check, check. Got so many different kinds of effects that can get this into my graveyard effectively. And if I'm playing against an opponent that has black, my creatures are just unblockable and there's nothing they can do with it. Again, like against Wonder, yeah, you have flying. If the opponent's got flyers, creatures with reach, they can block. This one's like, no, you've got no opportunity to do so. So I'm coming through. Moving on to Pure Imaginative Rascal. Again, a very cool commander with Toothy, but in the 99, of course, that is where Pure really shines, it seems. A 1/1 human for 3 mana in green. Obviously partners with Toothy if you have that. That being said, if one of our counters we put on a permanent your team controls, that many +1 of each of those kinds of counters are put on that permanent instead. Anytime you can get extra counters, again, extra counters on anything. So yeah, it can be +1 counters, it can be charge counters, it of course can be, well, you know, Planeswalker loyalty counters. You can do a lot of cool things with this one. Again, not just as a commander, but in the 99 as well. One that really doesn't see many reprints like ever. So go pick it up. Here comes a spicy one, though, with Composer of Spring. A 1/3 Satyr Bard for 2 mana in green. Gosh, enchantments are getting a lot of support in the most recent years. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you may put a land card from your hand on the battlefield tapped. If you control 6 or more enchantments instead, you may put a creature or a land card from your hand on the battlefield tapped. This is a low-to-the-ground creature. This creature is 2 mana. 2 mana, and you get that insane effect. 2 mana, and you get, okay, enchantment ETB equals ramp, and later, literally, enchantment ETB equals cheat creature into play. Keeping in mind that if that is an enchantment creature, you get to do it again. I'm sure there's some crazy loops that you can do this one too, but it's absolutely insane. If you've got an enchanter strategy, pick it up. Moving on, Dowsing Dagger, one that admittedly, when I first started, getting into Commander content, back in the day, when this card came out, and I was just like, you know what, that's just okay. It's grown on me over the years, and I've seen that, wow, this can be a really, really, really big way to ramp really, really, really quickly. Dowsing Dagger, it is conditional, but in Commander, you got 3 opponents, and at least one of them probably is going to allow you to be able to get through. Enters the battlefield, target opponent creates 2/0/2 green plant creature owns a defender. Make a deal with that, give it to one of your opponents that you're not planning on attacking, obviously. +2/+1 for that equipped creature. Whenever equipped creature deals combat to a player, you may transform Dowsing Dagger. And it flips over into Lost Veil, which is literally a mana, a mana source that is just unrivaled for lands. Tap at 3 mana of any one color mana pool. I mean, okay, I guess like Gaia's Cradle. Okay, I mean like fair lands for the most part. Anyways. Being able to just have a land that can tap for 3 super early on in the game. Again, you can get this like turn 3 flip and you're like, oh yeah, okay, I just get 3 extra mana from a land. Gross, amazing. Again, a somewhat politicky card, with the, hey, I'll give you 2/0/2 plants for a reason or whatever. Yeah, make deals, but also like, yeah, being able to just flip this and be able to get an absurd amount of mana out of it, it's great. Things are just heating up, though, because we got Blade of the Blood Chief, an equipment for 1 mana, 1 to equip. Whenever a creature dies, put a counter on equipped creature. Equipped creature is a vampire and get 2 on it. Now, this is the type of card that literally, if it had less words on it, it would probably see more play sometimes, because some players go like, oh, well, I'm not playing a vampire deck, or like, none of my creatures are vampires. Like, why would I care about that? Literally just ignore that part. If you just like ignore that part and it says, hey, it's an equipment for 1 that costs 1 to equip, and it says, whenever any creature dies, you get a counter on equipped creature. That is an insane effect in Commander. Again, anyone's creatures dying, not just your own, being able to get an insane amount of counters. So many counters. An absurd amount of counters. Now, obviously, if it's on a vampire, that's even more crazy. But yeah, if you're in any kind of a strategy where you care about counters, where you care about getting rid of your opponent's creatures, edict effects, aristocrats, like there's so many different kinds of decks out there that can benefit from something like this. Voltron as well. You just, even as a Voltron deck, if you don't have any ways, you're just like, okay, like I get rid of creatures like consistently, just slap it on your Voltron commander, and throughout the game, the thing's going to get so much value out of it, so many counters to it. Pick it up. Now, this one's worth your attention. Artist's Talent. 2 mana in red. It's in Shipment class, and it says, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. By paying 3 in red, you get to level 2. Non-creature spells you cast cost 1 less cast. By paying 3 mana in red again, you get to level 3. Pay source you control, deal non-combat damage to an opponent, or a permanent opponent controls, deals that much damage plus 2 instead. Here's the thing. Again, this is one of those where, like, you don't necessarily have to care about that last level. It's amazing in those types of strategies, in like group slug type strategies and pinging strategies and like any of those non-combat damage strategies. Yes, that's amazing, obviously. But you don't even have to care about that. You can literally just care about like level 1 and level 2, and it's already amazing for that. Again, a 2 mana enchantment, which again, in my opinion, enchantments are kind of the hardiest type out there. They're the hardest to deal with typically. They're going to stay in play the longest, most likely. Being able to go, okay, I cast any non-creature spell, I can rummage, yes please, additional card selection for me. On top of that, for just 3 mana, being able to go up to level 2 and going all of my non-creature spells, not just instant sorceries, non-creature spells all cost 1 less. That is an absurd effect. Again, getting all of that value for 5 mana in total, you can spread that out whenever you need to actually pay that. It is a great card. Now, if you're like me, and you also believe that WUBRG is the best color combination, the best commander color combination, all 5 colors, you want to play with them all, right? Spirit Resistance is a great card, an enchantment for 3 mana, back from, I think this is Invasion, my goodness, a long time ago. 3 mana in white, if you control a permanent of each color, prevent all damage to be dealt to you. Here's the thing. Again, if you're playing 5 color, you can get to that quite easily. Being able to go like, oh yeah, cool. All right, I've got all colors in play. All right. Come at me. Why not? You can't hurt me. It's just a fun card. I mean, for you. Being able to get that out and just be like, all right, you got to deal with this, and if not, you can't deal with me. So being able to just get this out and just sit around, have fun. Let's zero in on this next big one, though, because Kindred of Discovery is here. Enchantment for 5 mana in blue. Enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Whenever a creature you control the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. I can't believe they added the or attacks. Like, wait, that's not good enough. More. It needs more. Throw the attack trigger on it, too. Not even like combat damage like Coastal Piracy hitting someone. No, it's just literally like, yeah, you swung? Congratulations. Here's your card. It was a tough job you did right there. Good job. Yep, just rewarding that hard work right there for attacking. Yeah, it's a pretty insane card. Absolutely insane card. Being able to give you so much value in any kind of a tribal deck out there. Being able to go like, okay, hey, creatures ETB. It's not even like if you cast them, okay? Again, it's ETB, so again, you can use and abuse with blink effects. Also, it doesn't say like non-token creatures, so yeah, if you've got any kind of a creature token generator for your tribal deck too, you're like, oh yeah, get all these, cool, all right, so much value to be had there. And again, of course, on attacking, this is just the most insane draw engine you will have in that type of a strategy. You're just like, oh yeah, cool, all right, get them into play, swing, draw, and I've got 50 cards on my hand. Good for me. All right, what am I gonna do with all these? I don't know. Moving on, an oldie but a goodie from back in the day, Mirari's Wake. I love you, Mirari's Wake. Used to be in my deck a long time ago when I played Standard as a child. Enchantment for 5 mana in Selesnya. Creatures you control get ++1. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana to your mana pool of any type that land produced. Being able to go, okay, all right, what I'm going to do is pump my entire team for a nice little, like, Anthem effect, 5 mana. That's a bit expensive. Oh, but I double up my mana. Great, good for me. Yeah, being able to just double up your mana while also just getting an Anthem, that is absolutely huge. Simple, effective, amazing. Mirari's Wake, pick it up. Next up, sometimes you get a discount on the alternative art versions of cards, essentially, and Virtue of Loyalty is one that you're going to want to pick up because, well, this version is, well, cheaper, and it's amazing. You can use the Adventure side to create a 2/2 White Knight creature with Vigilance for just 2 mana, so that's not bad, right? Again, like, okay, cool, I can utilize that when I need to early in the game if I got nothing else to do. And then for 5 mana, I'll get an enchantment that says, beginning of your end step, get a counter each creature you control, untap those creatures. Literally just being able to untap your creatures on your end step is amazing and fantastic. There's certain decks out there that are just like, yeah, sign me up for that. I've got so many creatures out there, or even just my commander that has a tap ability that I want to utilize a lot. Yeah, give me that. It's amazing, all right? Virtue, it's a great card. It is a great card that, again, can go in so many different types of strategies out there, like counter strategies out there. It's also kind of like pseudo-vigilance, so you can be super aggressive, too, with your creatures. Keep all that in mind. This does amazing work for you. On top of it, just give me a cute little knight. Like, hey, look, okay, knight early. And then, by the way, later, it's like, now I've got 10 power because it's been sitting out for a while. Good for you. Speaking of creature tokens, though, call the copper codes. Do you want all the creatures in the world all at once? Yay! Instant speed? Yay! You want this. Instant for 3 mana in white. Strive costs 2 more to cast for each target beyond the first. Choose any number of target opponents. Create X 1/1 white human creature tokens, where X the number of creatures those opponents control. Basically go like, okay, how many creatures do all my opponents control in total? Okay, 7 mana before my turn. Yeah, right before my turn in the end step. 25, 30 creatures? Okay, I get 30 1/1s. All right. Oh, I win? Okay, good. Yeah, that's usually how this goes. Because you're just like, okay, I just make a massive army out of absolutely nowhere that no one saw coming. And then I've got all these other, if I've got a go-ahead strategy, probably like Anthem effects in play or whatnot. I'm like, okay, cool. Now I swing and I win. Yay! Or I have like Impact Tremors. I'm like, okay, 30 damage to you all. Yay! Yeah, Call of Copper Coats is insane. Now let's search up strategies, though, to a land with Witch's Clinic. Yeah, this is a card that will absolutely put on a clinic with your opponents. Tap for a colorless, or pay 2 tap target commander gains lifelink until end of turn. Now, do keep in mind you can politic with this one. This is one that, again, does not say target commander you control, so you can actually politic with it. Few opportunities probably to do that, but yeah, if you have to, if you're really desperate late game and an opponent's about to attack you, wait! Hey, if you attack that other player with your giant Voltroni commander instead of me, I'll give it lifelink. And they'll be like, okay. So then, yeah, you take out someone else instead of you. Then you've got another turn to maybe survive and hopefully win. That being said, of course, outside of politicking in very specific scenarios, it's an amazing card. Just being able to grant your commander lifelink and be able to go, okay, I'll just gain some life. Even if you're not in a life gain strategy, if you are, that's amazing. Be able to just get okay, I got lifelink off of a land. Great. Gain them a lot of life. That's great. That being said, in another deck where you're just like, okay, yeah, I just need to pad my life total a little bit right now. I'm a little low right now. Cool. Do that. Or if you've got a commander that dishes out damage in a different way, if you've got a pingy commander, one that pings a lot of creatures, yeah, you can go, okay, I give it lifelink and I gain so much life from that. This is a card that gives you a really good keyword for free on a land that comes into play untapped. Yeah, it doesn't help you fix your mana or any of that kind of stuff, but like, if you've got, say, a 1-color deck, a 2-color deck, maybe even a 3-color deck, yeah, you can slide in those kind of utility lands that can really help you out. And speaking of those utility lands, I mean, Swarmyard, if you have an insect, rat, spider, or squirrel deck, yeah, you're going to want this one. Tap for a colorless, tap regenerate target instant, rat, spider, or squirrel. I guess technically, again, you could politic with this one in very specific scenarios. Or I guess I should say changeling deck too could utilize it as well. That being said, yeah, no, most of the time it's like, oh, my commander is one of those things. Cool. I save my commander with my land. Lovely. Amazing. There are very few lands that can do that. And again, these are very lucky creature types to be able to do that with. Make sure you pick it up if you've got one of those types of commanders or one of those types of strategies. Get ready for what's coming next because your opponents won't be ready with Bribery. Yeah, this card is fascinating and amazing. An oldie but a goodie. Bribery is a sorcery for 5 mana in blue. Search target opponent's library for a creature card. Put that card on the battlefield under control. Then that player shuffles their library. Being able to just go, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take your library. I'm going to look through it. I know your entire deck now. Like, let's say like, you're not playing with your friends, right, and you don't know what the deck is. Now you have all the information you need to know, right? You know exactly what that deck is, what it does. On top of that, you say, okay, your best creature is mine now. Sometimes that's just like Blightsteel Colossus, I win the game type value. So yeah, this is an insane card. It's so much fun. And of course, you've got 3 opponents to pick from. You can go like, okay, like that player's not really playing a creature heavy deck. That one's playing like some creatures. That one's got like amazing big creatures. Your deck, please. Thank you. Blightsteel, I win. Yay! Have fun. When it comes to fun, though, reprocess. What's more fun than sacrificing your own stuff? I mean, it's kind of funny because when you start off in Magic, you're like, why would I ever sacrifice my own things? And then later on, you're like, how can I sacrifice more things? Like, that's all I want to do is just sacrifice all the things. Aristocrat style, anyone? Sorcery for 4 mana in black. Sacrifice any number of artifacts, creatures, and/or lands. Draw a card for each permanent sacrifice this way. A great way to dig down into your deck to change all those creatures. Most likely creatures like creature tokens. Artifacts, sure as well, yeah, okay. But land's a bit risky, but maybe, you never know, why not? Being able to just go, okay, let's just draw a ton of cards, sacrifice all these things. Again, if you're in a Aristocrat style deck, probably get a lot of death triggers, a lot of triggers going on, a lot of value. Have fun. Finally, though, make an example. A very solid card. Sorcerer 4 mana in black. Each opponent separates the creatures they control into 2 piles. For each opponent, you choose one of their piles. Each one sacrifices creatures in their chosen pile. Here's the thing. This is a card that's kind of like Fact or Fiction, but basically with your opponent's friends, with your opponent's creatures. It's like, oh no, separate all those cards that you're really invested in, all those creatures that you're really invested in. All right, put them into 2 piles. Yeah, watching just the aggravated look on your opponent's face, they're like, oh no, my best creatures, no, how could I ever pick between them? Well, you have to, because I'm going to make you sacrifice half of them. Okay, yeah, you can also politic with this too. You can definitely make deals with it as well, because again, piles can be empty. So again, you can make a deal with a player and be like, hey, this deal's just for you, all right? If you take your creatures and you put them all in one pile and not the other pile, and you're never allowed to attack or block my creatures with those creatures. You can't attack me with those creatures or block my creatures with them or ever interact with me with those creatures. They can only be utilized against my opponents, even when it's a one-on-one scenario, essentially, right? Then I'll let you keep them. Yeah, you can make deals like that with this, and you might not realize that until you actually play the card, and you're like, oh, wait, piles can be 0. So you can pick a 0, but you're going to politic for it. And with that, this episode is come to a close. Make sure you comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again, and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.